What's up, everybody? Hope your day is going good. So I made a video in the past about how to flow with Ableton, and things have changed a little bit. So the concept is kind of the same, but it's a better way for your computer's sake. So my computer's getting a little older, and so it's not handling the stress quite as well. I've been pushing it hard for a number of years, and it's tired. So I've found a little bit better way to basically give it a break. And let's go through that. This is going to decrease your computer workload. This is going to decrease the chance for it to glitch out on you in the middle of everything. So let's jump into it. I've got Ableton put up here. So I'm going to show you how to organize this as well. And hopefully this will really help you. So what I do now is I just have a main set for Ableton. And let me show you how I organize this on, well, if it'll let me here. It won't let me show you. Bummer. What a bummer. Okay. Well, so basically I have a folder on my desktop just for all of my Ableton stuff. And then on there I have, from there I have this main set. And I have another folder underneath that says master set list, and I'll show you what to do with that later. Then I've got all my programming for all of my multi-tracks and whatever else that I put in there. So that's kind of how I organize on the desktop. I should have figured out a nice way to show that to you, but I don't. So let's jump into this. So again, I save a main set thing here. This will help you save specific songs. So now, instead of, as you notice from the last one, if you've seen it, I had every song in the master set list on one Ableton session. And man, that was slow. It would take like 30 seconds to a minute just to save the session. So I'm like, hard pass on that now. So what I do now is really quite simple. I can go, here you go. Now I can show you kind of how I have this set up. So I've got my programming in Ableton here. I've got my main set project. I've got my master set list and my programming. So I've pulled one song in from my other computer. I've been running Ableton on a different computer. So I'm pulled this in to show you the song You Keep On Getting Better from Maverick City, and they've been killing the game, so I figured I'd show this. These are actually stems that I've created though. So let me show you how to do this. So you pull everything up on your main set here, and then just like before, actually, let me backtrack. So in order to do this, every song needs to be set up the same, okay? Otherwise, I've found that it gives you glitches. So I'll show you this really quickly, and then we'll move on. I've got my click and guide in a group. I've got in my loops group, I've got drums, perk, loop 1, 2, 3, and 4. And one of the things is you need to give enough tracks that you'll never have to really change this. Because if you change it for one song, you're going to end up having to change it for other songs. Keys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 keys, strings, and an organ in the keys. And the guitars, I have a bunch of those as well. I've got acoustic, and then I've got electric, 1 through 7. Bass and synth bass in my bass group, and in my Vox group I got choir and 4 BGVs. Now again, that's more than a lot of the multi-tracks will need, and a lot of the tracks that you'll throw in there, that's more than they'll need, but you want to have enough to handle anything that multi-tracks throw at you. And sometimes they have a million guitars or a million keys tracks. So you want to give space for that to where you're never going to have to come back and redo this and it's never going to glitch out on you, okay? So that's a disclaimer. So you can set it up how I've got it set up. I've not ever needed more than this, but I have needed that exact number, which is why I have those numbers. Okay, so I've got nothing over here. This is my main set. This is where I go to edit songs. This is where I go to save my set list for like next Sunday or something, you know? All right. So again, this is how to flow with Ableton a little bit better than the way I had it in the last video. So tab over and you can highlight all those and open things up. So I'm going to drag the tracks down from that song You Keep on Getting Better that I made some multi-tracks to. Okay, so I don't have any loops. I don't have any click. Let's see, I've got a piano and an organ, so I can throw that on keys 1 and organ. I have an organ spot down here, and I always throw it in the same one, even though I could just put it in keys 2, but I like keeping it real organized and know exactly where my organ is going to be at. Okay, I got electric 1, electric 2, and bass. Looks like that's the last thing. So throw the bass in there. Now on your normal multi-tracks, make sure that's it. That's it. Okay, on your normal multi-tracks now, you are going to have a lot more tracks in this. You're going to have a click in the guide. You're going to have loops. You're going to have live drums, normally a percussion and maybe a couple loops. And then you're going to have like a million keys and electric guitars, acoustic guitar you're going to have most likely. You know, you're going to have all this stuff, bass and synth bass a lot of times. And then you're going to have vocals. You're going to have a bunch of stuff. And I made this myself, these stems, so I don't roll like that. I don't need 1,000 things because I know my band and I know what we can do and I know where we need to fill the gaps, you know? So I just fill the gaps with what I got. All right. So from here, let's see. All right. So let me show you the idea before we start splicing things up. The idea is that you can come in here. Let's get this in the master set list. So the idea is when we're done with what we're about to do, we're going to have a song right here called You Keep on Getting Better. And I've already done this to this song, so let me show you the idea. So instead of having to scroll down and having 1,000 songs on your Ableton session, you have a master set list and you scroll down on here and then you just drag this in. Right there. And now sometimes, usually the initial time it'll say, you know, your files are missing. So you just got to go over here, set the folder. Where are we at? Desktop, programming, You Keep on Getting Better. Click go, and it's going to find them all. Save it, and now we're good. Okay, so the idea is you just drag it in. You only have to do that probably the first time unless you move your programming around. But now the idea is you got your click ready, and you can jump right into it. And you've got everything right here. And so each song on your set list, all you got to do is drag it from your master set list onto Ableton, and it's going to take you like 2 minutes to get your entire set up for Ableton without your computer having to stress with a million songs. Okay, so before we get into that, let me delete that and get back to where we were. Sorry, that was a little side trail just so you can see exactly why we're doing all this to make our lives easier. So when you get multi-tracks, or if you record stems for a song, you're going to know your BPM and your key. So this is in G, and it's 152 and 4/4. You can, if you don't know how to do all that, maybe find somebody else telling you all that. Just right click and it's all going to be there. You just rename your thing here. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Click on that so that this tempo here is set to your 152 and your time signature is 4/4. Come over here. Get rid of those two orange boxes. Double click there. Highlight everything. Warp everything. And I don't have loops, so everything that I have is going to be on complex here. But if you have loops, click and guide, you'll want to change only those to just beats, and then everything else on complex. Some people will do complex pro, but I find that still glitches out, and certain frequencies in certain. It's like if the electric guitar is playing all 6 strings, it's like 2 strings are going to be out, and the rest of them are going to be in the right key if you change the key. It's weird. I don't understand it, but complex sounds smooth, normal, and I never have any problems out of that. So I'm putting all of them to complex. If I had loops and click and guide, I would turn those specifically to beats, okay? All right, so those are all warped now to 152. The reason you warp it is if you change the key or if you change the tempo. These will follow you. All right. So then what we want to do, I got a little sidetracked. I actually jumped into it. So we've got 1 bar of an intro, and then it starts. Okay, so here's our start. What we want to do is break this song up into pieces, and this is going to allow us to flow. We can start at any point in the song and have different dynamic layers. And so that way, if we want to flow and go to a chorus down, we'll have a chorus down. If we want to have a get big, go to a chorus up, we'll have a chorus up, and it'll all be right at our fingertips. Okay, but for now, we have this full track, and we want to break it up into pieces. So that's what we're going to do. So normally if you have a click and guide, I like to open that, but we've got keys here, and we can do that too. So let's do that. So we see that it starts here. Let's start it. So that just loops twice. Okay, and from here on, it goes to the chorus. So what we want to do, keys, notice I started on the keys bus. This is important to pay attention to, or you'll tank your Ableton session. Normally I start it on the click bus, because that keeps my mind in organization mode and I don't tank Ableton. So what you want to do is highlight from the beginning of that section you want to take to the end of the section you want to take, and then you go down and you can hold your shift and click and highlight everything, every stem, every loop, everything. You copy it, hit tab to come over, and remember how I said I started on the keys bus? That's where you need to start. So you click there, paste it in, and it's going to put it in exactly where it needs to be. All our guitars, electrics, all of that goes in the exact place. Now, if you started on click and guide, or if you were to start it on keys 1, a lot of times Ableton is just going to glitch out and tank on you, and you're going to lose some progress. So don't do that. That stinks. All right, so let's hit that chorus. Next section starts here. This guy has to be the second verse. So once you get the hang of this, you can go quick and just let it play. Okay. Sounds like a double chorus here. Alright, so this is your low bridge. Here's your medium bridge. Bigger bridge. There we are. So I think this is the chorus. It is. So then it goes to a big chorus. Another big chorus. So you can just take that section, since it stays on the 1, it stays low. Oops. Okay. So this is a low, hangs on 1 little section, so that way you can exhort or whatever while just hanging on that 1. So let's see. Let's see where this changes. I think right here. Every day is better. This is that section. And I change the chords to it to make it more interesting. And it layers up. Big. Okay, then I just faded it out because I didn't need any other sort of... I didn't need anything else other than that on the stems. Okay, so we just went through an entire song and cut little pieces up. What is this? Okay, I just kept going. Yeah, I just went and had fun. So that's not even necessary to have, because it just ends up getting just as big as here. It sounds super similar. Okay, so now we have this. I'm just changing the colors for now. All right, so now we've pasted all of that song over here in our sections. We've got it split up, but we're not quite done just yet, but we are very close to being done. And I'm trying to keep this one a lot shorter than the last video because it was like 45 minutes long. So we're about 22 and a half minutes. Let's keep on moving. All right, keep on getting better. Remember, be saving your work here because it's a pain if you don't, and then it crashes. All right, so double click on your first audio thing here. Normally, again, it's going to be click. But this is going to tell you the measures here. It starts in measure 2, ends in measure 18. So what you want to do, now 18 minus 2, so you want to see how many measures it goes. Actually, before we do that, so click on all of your stems and loops and everything right here. And why would that say it's not all warped? Let's get that all warped. Okay. And then, that's what I'm looking for right there. That threw me for a second. Okay. So highlight all of them, and you're going to click play again. Sorry, I had a cable in front of my vision. So what that does is you have options, okay? Some people like play again, some people like next. I like play again for the reason being is we like to repeat sections, right? So if we're on a chorus, a big chorus, or if we're on that Every Day Gets Sweeter really big, and we are jamming out, we're going for it, and things are feeling amazing. What I like to do is I just, we're repeating that section so many times, I just leave it on. And so what that does is when it gets to the end of that clip, the samples that we put in there, that section, instead of stopping or going to the next slot thing down here, it's going to repeat all of it. Okay? So you've got options, right? Sometimes I like to tell it to go next when I know for a fact we're going to the next section and I don't want to click on it. Okay? And some people like to click on next and know that everything is going to go down if they don't touch anything. And if they repeat a section, then they have to click it every single time they repeat a section. I don't want to do that because we repeat too many times. So I just set everything to loop, to play again there. And again, if you didn't see how I brought that up, this it wasn't there initially. You have to click there, and here it is. Okay, but the problem is right now is it thinks that we're supposed to play one measure and then play again. So this is what it thinks we're doing. That's, right? We want to tell it how many measures to play before we play again. So let's see. So basically 18 and 2. 18 and 2. 16. All right, so let's check it. There you go. Okay, so you also see how this says it ends at 17, 4, and 4. Normally it's going to say 18, 1, 1. And a lot of times this can happen. This has been happening to me more recently, and haven't quite figured out exactly why yet, but that's okay. Usually, so if you put 16, it's still going to do what it needs to do. But a lot of times, too, just for organization, I'll come down here and click 1811 and do that for every single sample. But when you have a lot of samples, that's quite a bit. So what you want to do, since we have basically 18, it's 17, 4, and 4, but that's the full measure. So 18 minus 2 is 16. So you click on that one, and this whole thing, then you highlight every track that you have there, come down and put 16 in there, and it's going to play again after 16 bars. Okay, this one, what, 34 minus 18? Let's ask Siri. 34 minus 18.
I didn't catch that.
34 minus 18.
That would be 16.
There you go, another 16. Siri is my friend, and she checks my work. 50 minus 34.
That would be 16.
Another 16. Most of these songs are going to be 4, 8, 16. Occasionally they'll have a couple bar hold. 82 minus 50.
That would be 32.
There's your 32 because it's a double chorus. 98 minus 82.
The answer is 16.
And you just go down each one and do this. 114 minus 98.
It's 16.
130 minus 114.
It's 16.
So many 16s here. 162 minus 130.
It's 32.
Double chorus, so it's 32. 170 minus 162.
That would be 8.
There you got your 8 bars for hanging down on the 1 and just looping that. 190 minus 174.
The answer is 16.
16. 205 minus 190.
It's 15.
What? Did I say that right? No, I didn't. So it's 16. It's supposed to be 206. And 222 minus 206.
The answer is 16.
Okay, so then you go down through here and make sure they all did what they should be doing. you can bring that down, and these all should be saying something other than 1. Okay, and they are. Because sometimes, I don't know why Ableton does this, sometimes it won't take it, and then you'll have like a couple in here that worked, and then a bunch of them still say 1. But I found one thing that helps is when you do this, highlight over, click 16, and instead of going to something else, I click like in here, or you can maybe not click in there because that'll do that. I click in here, and then it like sets it somehow, because sometimes if you just click here, it's gonna switch it back to 1, and that's really, really annoying. Okay, so let's test some of these. We tested that one already. Let's test this one just for time. You're gonna want to go through and just test them one time, make sure they're all good. Yep, and it just loops for you the way it needs. Okay, so now we've got all of that set up. So here's where the organization comes in. Save it. You can save it as your main set. But what you want to do now is go back. Say we're doing this song for the first time. Okay. You save the live set as. You keep on this. I'll put it to my desktop. Save. And then what you can do is drag that project over here and just keep the ALS file right here. So you don't have to drag the whole project. You can just drag the ALS file and delete the rest. Okay. So that's saved like that. So now let's open up back to the main set here. Delete this back off. Okay, so now we're back to our starting point, right? So say you're getting set up for Sunday and you keep on getting better comes onto the list. So all you got to do is get to your programming file there, get to your master set list, and drag this in. And boom. There it is. Right? And it's ready to go. And then once you have every song in your catalog in your master set list, organized this same way. Remember, it has to be organized the exact same way, same groups, all of that. Then all you have to do is drag it in like that. And if you're on the fly and they're like, hey, we want to do You're Good or something like that, and you've already got your entire set list right here, you just scroll down to You're Good, drag it in here, and then it's immediately ready. Okay? That's where this is faster. It's way better on your computer because you don't have 1,000 songs with 1,000 samples apiece bogging your computer down. So now you just have your couple songs and you can pull how you want. Now the only thing I would change is what you noticed is when you get on, you keep on getting better. Okay, now we're here. So what I would do is actually delete all of that there to where it's only the song at the top and one empty space below. Okay, now save it. I'll put this back to the desktop. So now we can all right, so let me throw that back in there. Just the ALS file. There we go. So we've got the ALS file ready to go. And let me show you one more time. All we got to do to set up your Sunday set list, once you have all of this ready, you go there, you drag in the songs you want, and there they are. That simple. That simple right there. And then you just drag them in order, and you're good to go. Okay? Now, you've got your master set list here. You drag these in, and your programming, you put all here. So all your multi-tracks and whatever, you stick them all right here. I keep them in order per song because otherwise things get a little crazy. So I've got you keep on getting better and all of my tracks here. So these are the two folders that are important. But you have your main empty set here. All right, I hope that all makes sense. If you have any questions, you let me know. And that's the whole process. So what I did, if you have a set like I had the other way, I just went song by song and renamed it. So say I had every other song on my set list still on my Ableton, and I wanted to have the song You Keep On Getting Better, I would save this as You Keep On Getting Better, delete everything else off of there, um, and save it like that, and then that was it. And so you just do that for each song, and then you've got all your songs there. It took me a little while to do it, but now it's way more simple, way better for my computer, the whole 9 yards, okay? And then from there, all you have to do is go through each one of these once you're plugged up to your interface and shove them down the right channels, and you'll be a happy camper. All right. Again, if you have questions, let me know. Hit the thumbs up button if this helped you. I really hope it helped you. And I'm loving the new way that this is. And yeah, hit that thumbs up, subscribe. Let me know if you need any other things for Ableton. And I hope you guys are blessed.